everyone, welcome to the Mirja Vahala Art Studio where inspiring minds meet. This painting was a small one, about 9 by 12, and created with acrylic paint and a palette knife and a brush. I enjoyed the painting because of the way that the trees kind of swoop in into the center and create a triangular kind of shape to look past into the distance. And then we have the tree in the front that has fallen from the heavy snow and has nice curvy linear kind of shapes on it, plus the overall mass shape of it is a triangle as well. And the two main colors were magenta and green. The magenta was a background color with a few glazes of other colors on top to warm it up in a few places. And the magenta and green also makes beautiful grays when you add the white. So that's kind of fun as well. And then the snow added a little bit of a dull down phthalo blue. There's a little bit of light leaking in there, creating some warm bits on the snow, and that was fun to do as well. So anyway, I enjoyed doing the painting. If you like this video, please like it, and if you'd like to subscribe, go ahead, and we'll see you soon. Before I begin a painting, I'm very aware of the design. This one is based on a tunnel, the sense that you're going into the background. There's a couple of secondary and tertiary designs as well, and one is based on the letter A, and the other one is a perspective lines that move you into the back. As usual, I begin on a color ground, and I'm using white chalk to put my drawing in. The line drawing is ready to go with just enough edges to show me what I need to do. Here I'm adding transparent red oxide mixed with GAC 500 to create a glaze. This color is placed wherever the shadows will be. Chromium oxide with green with a bit of black and a tiny bit of phthalo blue makes this really great dark green. As I'm knifing it in, I'm scratching some little marks into those tree branches to make it look more foliage-like. What I love about chromium oxide green is when you add white to it, it creates this lovely cool green that's a little bit dull, and it seems to go with a lot of different colors. For the various greens and grays that are placed in the next little bit in the video, I've used chromium oxide green and magenta and white. And by adding a little more magenta or a little bit more of the green, you can get more of a pinky violet look opposed to the blue-green look. I had to feel my way through this painting with the subtle changes in tonal values and the subtle changes in colors. It was quite challenging and more of an impressionistic type of look. So I tried to make the marks matter, and because of all the small little marks, keeping the value or the color scheme very simple. And I think that helps, especially with that busy bits of color that are in the foreground tree. Because of the diffuse light in this image, it's important to keep the values close together in the snow in the foreground. So the shades between the dull violet and that brighter light blue color are pretty close together. And then what's going to make it pop later is a little bit of warm light that's going to hit small pieces of the snow. For the small amounts of warm light coming through the forest, I've taken titanium white and added a small amount of cadmium yellow medium. Whenever you're going to mix a color that has a lot of white in it and very little color, it's logical to begin with the white and then add little bits of color at a time. That way you don't end up great big piles of paint that are a little bit too dark for what you needed. At this point in the painting, I'm starting to look for all the little areas that I haven't painted yet that need adjusting. To create a thin line with a palette knife, I side load the knife, and I do that by sliding the brush through thick but a little bit fluid paint. I love adding the accents of dark and or light to a painting. That's the final bits of shade that bring the painting together and make all the colors pop. Here I'm placing some negative space sky holes behind those trees. When adding the highlights on that foreground fallen tree, I'm keeping the marks loose and playful, creating arcs of paint. When making loose marks on a painting, I hold my palette knife or brush at the end of the handle and I hold it lightly. At this point of the painting, I continue to look for places to darken, lighten, things I need to neutralize or brighten, or marks that I might not like, I will correct them. And on we go. With acrylic paints, you may need to go over your lights a few times because acrylic paints darken so much. Here is the final painting. Thanks so much for watching, and if you'd like to subscribe for notice of new videos, please do so, and we'll see you soon.